Hi, I want to thank you for clicking on the button that says Battling Business. And maybe that's exactly where you find yourself today, that your business is battling. I'm specifically talking to the person today where you've experienced longer than what you would wish for seasons of business battling. Maybe you've been battling to make it monthly. You've been battling to pay your expenses. You've been battling to take care of your family, and that's to the person I want to speak to today. Allow me to share a little bit of my own story. We were developing affordable housing units, which went very well. We probably sold 80 units in 2 years, and then we decided to go big and launch a 540 unit complex that we were going to develop over the next 5 years in October 28. And for those of you who are familiar with October 28, that was not the best season to launch any venture, especially within the housing market. Making a long story short, we lost the company. We sold 3 units on our launch day. We had to close the company. At that stage, my wife and I has just built, because we've had great success the previous 2 years, we've just built our dream home, which was a 3-story home. And at that point in time, we lived in a place where we had the zebras come and just mow our lawn. I was on my porch, I would look down, and then my zebras, well, not my zebras, the zebras of let's say, the security estate that we lived in, actually would come and eat my grass. And so we had good life. Kids was in a private school, and they walked across the street, and we were with our coffee on the porch, watching our kids go to school. And when all of this happened, long story short, at the end, we have lost everything. I had to sell the house. We lived in the house for 9 months. I lost my car. Car was taken. This eventually took a toll on my marriage. And my wife and I went through just a very, very tough time with just in terms of marriage and the season we were at. And at some stage, we were really talking about just, we like each other, but life together doesn't work. Maybe life separate from each other will work better. And we had to navigate through all of those things. And I'm telling you, it's a season that I never want again in my life. Now, I'm not saying you're there. I'm not trying to put fear in your heart of what can come or could come. I want to be able just to say, I know what it looks like when you try and try and try, and it almost feels like nothing is working out. But yes, some things we had to say no for. Some things that the kids wanted, we just couldn't do. But God's been faithful. And today we can look back at that season and say, Lord, thank you. Thank you for carrying us through. And part of that season is why I'm speaking to you, to speak to you today and say there is hope, there's a future, and this will end. But I want to give you a few tips that we have found, or I have found during this season, that might help you or might not. But I wanted to give it to you in any case. I think number one, if I were to go through a season like this, and depending on the severity of the season you find yourself at, get professional counsel immediately, quickly, as soon as you can. I've had a ton of people just call me and harass me, jump into my character because of the situation that we found ourselves at, and maybe they found themselves there too because of the recession at that time. But that killed me emotionally, trying to handle things and handle my own family. So get to know the law. Get to know what the law says. Get to know what's your rights in the situation. Doesn't mean you're a bad man or a bad woman, or you're not a person of character. You find yourself in a season where you need to protect yourself so that when you are restored, you can do the restitution that you want to or need to. But business is business, and businesses fail. And that is part of the risk of business. So number one, just as a tip, make sure you get good counsel, professional counsel, in as quick as possible. and just make sure you know what are the options available for any person that finds himself in this space. And remember, you're not the first person that is finding themselves in this space. The second tip I just want to give to you is make sure you take care of your family. If you have extra money, or don't just give it away and kind of see, well, how can I get all these wolves that wants all my money off my back? Really make sure you preserve your cash for survival, and especially for your family. Because if it hurts in your family, it's going to hurt you severely. On the outside, you can still manage certain things, but make sure you protect your family as far as possible. And as part of that, if you're married, I would definitely have a good conversation with my wife to say, wife or husband, how much information would you like in this process? I remember when we were in the situation, I would tell my wife everything because I had to just tell somebody. I had all of this things inside of me that I need to speak to her, but that just put so much more stress on her. So some wives, some spouses is, I want to know everything. I will process it by myself or on my own. And some wives or some spouses were like, you know what, just protect me a little bit from all this information, and you do what you need to do and kind of inform me as we go along. So make sure you have that conversation with your wife and with your spouse and say, hey, we're going through this process. Our business is battling. How frequent and how deep would you like to know about where we are truly at? And the third thing is, do what you can do. Yes, you need to pray, and God is faithful, and God will help you through, but don't get passive. This is not your time to be passive. It's your time to be active in prayer, and pursue those things that you can pursue. There's always something you can do. Even if it's small, and even if it seems like the outcomes of that would not bring you out of the trouble, that might be true. But if you're obedient with the small things, God can use those things to actually bring about your miracle. So make sure you do what you can do. And lastly, I would really encourage you to pick 2 or 3 friends that you can trust, to just confide in. Sometimes you need somebody to speak to. You just need somebody not to give you advice, not to tell you what to do and how wrong or how right you are, or how wrong they are and how right you are, but just people where you can talk to. So make sure you get those friends or circle of friends, and I would say not more than 2 to 3. Get those people around you and let them know where you're at and how they can support you. And it should be those people that you can call in the middle of the night and say, listen, this is where I'm at. This is my feelings. And you should be able to share those feelings with them. Let me end with 3 truths that I want you to know if you go through in a season where your business is battling. Number 1, failure is not your identity. Even if your business fails, even if this business never picks up, even if other people try to label you with certain things, I want you to know that you are not a failure. If your business fails, my business failed many times. In fact, 3 of those businesses starting afterwards just didn't work. Worked my fingers to the bones. It just didn't work. That's not my character quality. That's not my identity. And I want you to hear that, and I want you to know that you are not a failure. Even if you find yourself in a place where things around you fail. So number 1 truth is don't place that sticker on your heart and on your character that you're a failure. The second thing is, you are not alone in this. Hundreds, thousands of people has gone through a business that battles. Some has pulled it through and some have not. And I don't know where you're at or how, to be honest, how your story will end. But I'm telling you, it's just a chapter in your story. This is not the final chapter in your book. When you look back, this chapter 6 or whatever you want to call it, might be a difficult chapter. But it also might be just that chapter where you say, that is the chapter that has formed my character. That is the chapter where I've learned so much. So please make sure, don't think this is the end, because it's not. This is only a part or a piece of your story. And then the third truth is, I want you to know that this will pass. It will pass. Nothing ever stays the same. As you get up every day with faith, as you get up every day with hope, I know just as I look back and say, you know what, it's part of my story, but it's way in the past. I want you to know that this will be part of your story, but it will be part of your history. And so just keep the faith and keep the hope in that one day this will end as well. So I just want to encourage you and say, hold on, fight the good fight of faith. Get the counsel, get the friends. Don't stick the situation you find yourself in as part of your identity or who you are, because this will end. You'll see the fruit of your labor. You will taste success. And this is just, it's going to form you. It's going to establish you. And hold this season and just say, Lord, what do you want to tell me? And what am I learning in this season? Don't write the same lessons again. That will just be dumb. But go and really learn from the season and write a few things down. You say, I will never ever do this again. And as a person, but also as an organization, just because I know where I have been, what we'd like to do, we have a course called How to Develop a Purpose-Driven Business to Your Unique Design. The normal price is $39. You're not getting a discount. If you want to do it, it's free. I just want to give it to you. I don't know what else to do. I don't know where you find yourself in the world or where your situation is. But if you just want somebody to inspire you, somebody to get your thinking going again on what business should look like and could look like, and reevaluate some of your systems, this course is for that. So if you want to just, down here, there's a little bit of an email. You don't need to give me detail or anything. Just write the email and say, you can just click submit. It's already, the subject is already in there. And I will send you a coupon code that you can do this course for free. Just from our side to say, we want to do something to say we believe in you, you're going to make it, and you're going to have a success story after this. And say, you know what, it was a tough season, but I've made it. So if you would allow me just to pray for you. Father, I thank you for the person that's on the other side of the screen. And although I've not met them personally, I do have empathy and I feel for where they're at. Lord, sometimes we feel so backed up in a corner with all the lights off that it's dark and we don't know what the next day should look like. We hear voices that tell us that we're not good enough and that we're failures. But Lord, I thank you that you come today and you speak that the person on the other side of the screen is your beloved son and your beloved daughter. Lord, I thank you that you've called them for success. Lord, thank you that they are building who they are. Lord, thank you they are writing their story at this moment. Lord, I thank you that this is not the last chapter, but it's the beginning of a next opening scene of a next play that you want to do in their lives. Lord, so I pray for those who are hopeless, that they will receive hope. Lord, I pray for those who just feel that they cannot continue, they have lost all their energy and their strength. I pray that you will give them strength, and I pray that you will give them energy. Lord, I pray for marriages, because I know businesses that's battling and just the impact on marriages. Lord, keep husbands and wives together. Lord, thank you that finances will not push them apart, but in this season they will stand together and fight this issue, this giant in front of them. So bless them. I pray for an outcome. I pray for favor, and I pray for a place where they see the light on the other side of the tunnel. And we pray it in Jesus' name. Amen.